Help wanted. Skilled administrator for large health region. Must have a thick skin, be willing to serve multiple bosses, and not be tempted by cookies. The head job at Alberta Health Services, vacated by Stephen Duckett, could be a difficult one to fill. Finding the right candidate usually falls to recruitment specialists. We often call them headhunters. I'm joined by two of them now, Jay Rosenzweig and Scott Stopler. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. Jay Rosenzweig, to you first. How attractive is this job, the head of Alberta Health Services?
Well, it depends on the kind of individual. These kinds of assignments require us to look for very specific kinds of individuals who want challenges, who are not interested in taking on a job that's in maintenance mode. For the kind of candidate that wants the challenge, wants to be in a high-profile scenario, and wants to be able to prove themselves, even from a turnaround perspective, this could be very attractive.
Well, it's obviously attractive enough that they went to Australia to find Stephen Duckett, so clearly it's a worldwide search.
Well, that's exactly right. From the point of view of what we do at Rosenzweig and Company, it's important to sit down with the client and not make any assumptions, to really sit down and try to understand what are the must-haves in terms of requisite skills needed for success in the role. The first thing that I would assume is needed is leadership, the ability to inspire people, the ability to develop a vision and rally people around that vision. And a subset of that clearly is communication skills, to be able to really galvanize an organization internally, but also to inspire confidence in the public eye. And as we've seen, the need to be adept at dealing with the media and to be unflappable from that point of view is absolutely crucial.
Scott Stopler, given what happened here in Edmonton and in Alberta with Stephen Duckett, would that scare off somebody who might be eminently qualified, but then took one look at what happened with Duckett and said, "I don't need that"?
Well, I mean, it depends on the person. Some people probably don't want, that would be qualified, don't want that kind of pressure for the role, but there are individuals that are up for the challenge and would be okay with it.
They would take a look at it and say, yes, I'm ready for that kind of a job. I can serve more than one master and still take the heat and be able to perform. Yeah,
I mean, there's been many people over the years that have done it for other companies and other industries, so it can be done.
Yeah. You heard Jay Rosenzweig talk about the skills that are needed for this kind of a job and the challenge that it poses to a candidate. Would you add anything to what he said?
No, I thought he captured it quite well. The only other thing I would add to that would be that you have to find someone that is comfortable in the public sector, and probably someone that's not coming from a private background.
Why do you say that?
Well, just different expectations, different pressures, and the big one is dealing with those expectations.
Jay Rosenzweig, when it's more than just running a $6 billion operation, which is how much Alberta spends on health now, for whoever this candidate might be, recognizing that they are hired by the board of directors of Alberta Health Services, but it was very, very clear that the political bosses are playing an enormously important role in the direction of Alberta Health Services, and having to serve both of those masters. Would it be more difficult to find someone who's comfortable with that?
Well, look, there are individuals in the marketplace who've got very strong government relations and political acumen, in addition to the business acumen. I might step back and ask my client the question. I'm not so sure that business wouldn't be the right place to go, because people within the business world, do have the experience really grinding down onto the bottom line and turning around cultures, turning around logistics and operations and finances and the like. And at the end of the day, you might ask your client, geez, should we be looking for that needle in the haystack, that individual who's got the media relations, the government relations, the business private background, but also government relations? The other question we would ask our client is, should we consider bringing in a medical doctor who's perhaps run and crossed really both areas of the business world, maybe running one of the major hospitals, So there's all kinds of questions that we need to ask before jumping into the marketplace. But certainly this is something quite complex, and one would need to spend the first 2 or 3 weeks with the client really setting out what are the keys so that we can have a map moving forward to do a proper research project and ultimately bring the right candidate to the table.
Scott Stoppler, how long do you think it will take before Alberta Health Services can find their new boss?
I would probably say a good estimate would be 6 months.
So we're talking late spring, early summer.
It's going to be a big job. I'm thankful to hear, as an Albertan, I'm thankful to hear that there is an acting CEO in place who actually sounds quite qualified. So, but no, I would probably say 6 months.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see where they find this new CEO. I appreciate the two of you joining me this morning. Thanks for the time.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Take care.
Bye-bye. Jay Rosenzweig is the CEO and managing partner of Rosenzweig & Company. Scott Stoppler is president of Executive.